created probably at least 100 YouTube videos before I ever got a penny. And then I think our first month on YouTube, we made a few $100s. Our very next month, we made a couple $1,000s. Once we got monetized, it went from just a few hundred to a couple thousand the very next month.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Blitz Grow. Super excited for our guest today. You're going to learn a ton about building FOMO and building a really passionate audience. So today we have Mike from Alpha Status Stocks. I'm super jealous of his 300K TikTok following. His channel and exclusive Patreon have blown up using the FOMO tactic. The exclusivity has really seemed to have done a number for building up the hype and creating that profitability from the audience and group. So we're going to dive into that today. After listening to a few of his episodes, I love his style, and today I can't wait to learn about how he grew his audiences, how he creates that FOMO and amazing content and then delivers value for his fans. But Mike, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks so much. That was an excellent introduction. I appreciate the invite coming on the channel too.
Of course, man. I'm really excited to chat about a few of the things you have going. But to start off, just to give all the listeners a bit of an idea of kind of what you do, how do you sort of introduce yourself and explain what you do to people when you like meet them in a bar or meet them at a party or something like that?
So I still haven't quite perfected it because any way I see it, I still feel kind of phony, if you will, the imposter syndrome. I'm still pretty new into my own success, and whenever you tell anybody you're a YouTuber, you immediately get weird looks, and they either think it's really cool or they think you're batshit crazy, and there's like no in between. Or if I tell people, I don't know, there's really no way to say it, but by definition, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I now own 4 different businesses. All of them are cash flowing significantly in their own regards. So when people ask me, I more or less just say I'm a degenerate piece of shit that was able to use the stock market to or achieve financial freedom through my own life. And by me making a lot of money in the stock market, I then eventually started creating social media content. And before that, I actually didn't even have any social media. When I was in the Army, I decided to get rid of all of my social media. I hated it. It was a drain on my life. I realized how much time I was wasting just mindlessly scrolling through all these twerkers on Instagram and whatnot. So I got rid of it for many years. But once I started making a lot of money in the stock market, my only goal was to come back onto social media, just to teach all of my old friends and family the things I'm doing, because I started making more in the stock market than I was at my salaried management position at Olive Garden. I was making $70,000 to $90,000 a year as a salaried manager with Olive Garden, and I started making thousands of dollars a day. Now, not every single day, but there was a run there where like every day for weeks on end, I was making thousands of dollars, and I just wanted to give back, and I wanted to help other people achieve the same thing, because I know many of us are just caught in that week to week paycheck rat race that we can never seem to get out of. And I found a way out of it. So that's kind of how my social media started, was just me trying to educate and show people what I was doing that was helping me. And I don't think I knew when I started it had the potential to be huge, because I've watched YouTube videos, I've watched other people in the finance niche, and I've seen how lucrative it can be. But I never thought that I would be among them, or be among the people that were making that kind of massive money on social media. That's not why I started it or how I started, but along the way of me providing value and helping other people make a lot of money, my audience ballooned, especially when I started talking about AMC on my channel last year. It just blew up. I went from 40,000 subs one month to 60,000 the very next month. I was like, oh my God, it's just crazy. And then since then, now I've got the 300,000 on TikTok, and I've only been doing that for a few months now.
Nice. Yeah, we're definitely going to take a dive into your content and sort of how you decide what stocks to cover, what topics to cover. Because I think the trending news or topic that you post about really does help. I
For sure.
definitely saw on your YouTube channel, the AMC stuff. Jumping on that trend was obviously very beneficial for growing that channel for you.
Yep.
My next question was actually going to be like, why did you start the channel? But it sounds like you started to, help friends and family learn from some of the stuff that you're doing in the stock market.
Yeah,
Um,
that's absolutely still why I do it today, is just to help other people achieve what I've achieved. I've always said that I don't want to get rich alone. I'm
mhm.
becoming wealthy, and I'm
Yeah, it's
doing
boring.
things that ordinary people can do, because I was an ordinary person when I taught myself how to do all this. Like, I taught myself how to trade stocks, and I did that by utilizing social media. I learned almost everything I know through YouTube and other Discord channels, and I more or less just tweaked it to my own way, my own logic, and I've been running
Mhm.
these businesses for many years now, making other people rich. I just apply all of that to what I'm doing here. And I literally just want to help other people obtain the things that I'm achieving right now.
Mhm. Yeah, and I know you have a business partner, so how does that all fit into it? Are you guys just kind of like 50-50 owners in everything? Did you guys you
So
were just buddies and decide to start this? How did that relationship build, and how involved and beneficial is it to have a kind of partner in there?
Yeah, well, I'll kind of start from the beginning because it's just a slightly funny story. When we first met each other, we didn't fucking like each other at all. We were actually both general managers for a restaurant called Cookout. It's pretty popular in the South. We were both general managers, and I was used at the time to fix underperforming locations. My boss would just call me from time to time. He'd be like, "Hey, I need you to head over to this location. You're going to spend a few months there fixing it." I basically go in, fire the people that deserve it, promote the ones that deserve it, hire new people, train people, cross train people, create new systems and organizations to get these businesses profitable or better performing than they were. I got that standard phone call I got. I'd been in a location for a few months. My boss, Rich, calls me up, says, Mike, get to Oakwood right now, and hangs up. I already knew what that meant. So I drive over to Oakwood. And when I get there, he is yelling at my now business partner. I'd never met the guy before this, Andrew. Richard, my boss, was yelling at Andrew in front of the restaurant. It's a huge wraparound patio at this location. There was customers everywhere, and Richard is just screaming at Andrew. So I'm like slowly walking towards him like a lost puppy dog. Like I didn't want to get in the middle of this. I'm like slowly approaching him, and the last thing he says to Andrew is he's like, "And give Mike your keys. You're fucking out of here." And he demotes Andrew and gives me Andrew's location. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a terrible way to meet somebody. I'm almost like I don't even want to make eye contact with Andrew. I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come take your job from you. And Andrew ended up getting re-promoted just a few weeks later to GM of a different location. But we didn't start off on the right feet right away. Like he immediately hated me and saw me as the guy that took his job. But from him being re-promoted, we ended up being forced to work together a few times. And once we started working together, we almost immediately clicked. We're both very hardworking, goal-oriented individuals that are very passionately driven towards success. We just almost immediately hit it off and almost like this brotherly bond. And right before he cut his beard off, we actually kind of look like brothers too. Most people assume we are brothers. Um, but we found that we worked really well together at Cookout. We continued that relationship for like a year or two, and then we both quit Cookout together to go work at Olive Garden together. We quit the same day, we got hired the same day, and then we worked at Olive Garden together for a couple years, managers of different locations. And then when I started making money in the stock market, he was the first person that I taught what I was doing. Before I even opened any of my social media accounts again, I was like, Andrew, I've been killing it over here. I just took $400 and I turned it into $20,000 in 2 weeks. I was like, and I'm not doing anything that fantastic or special. This is stuff that anybody can do. So I taught him what I was doing, and he did the same thing. He turned $500 into like 15 grand in less than a week. And at that point, we kind of knew we had something very unique to provide to YouTube. And I knew he is a very personable guy. He comes on camera very well. He has no reservations about himself, and it portrays very well. Me, I'm still very camera shy. I can get up here and do it, and I can see that you can tell I'm articulating it fairly well, but I'm still nervous every single time I do it. I get these butterflies. I hate it. I hate putting myself out there. Like I said, I didn't even have social media for years. So for me, it's a huge undertaking to get me on camera. But Andrew, no problem. He'll just turn it on with no thought and be like, okay, let me talk to the camera. I knew between the two of us, we had something we could provide to the finance niche on YouTube specifically that nobody else had. There's a lot of people in the finance niche educating you and teaching you life changing skills, but a lot of them are so freaking boring, hard to understand, hard to follow. Even though they're teaching you life changing skills, you're not learning it because they're not delivering it in a professional way. So that's kind of what got us started, and how our relationship started with each other is not on the right foot, but eventually built a friendship out of just working hard right next to each other. And now we've started 4 different businesses together. All of them are 50-50 to answer your question. We just split everything right down the middle. And whenever there's a major decision, we immediately hop on the phone with each other and just ask each other, hey, what do you think? What we found is he is definitely the more risk oriented individual in our relationship. He's always willing, yes, let's go balls deep. Let's just go right into it. And I'm like, whoa, no, 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 no. Let's take some time to think about this before we just jump in. So I'm a little bit more of the conservative business side of that. He's just the all balls in, balls deep. But honestly, it suited us very well to have that kind of mixture. Like, he put a $30,000 into an NFT last year, and within 3 months of buying these couple of NFTs, his 30 grand went to 300 or went to 100 grand. That 100 grand went to $1.2 million, all while we're filming it all on YouTube.
Wow.
And that's something I would have
Damn.
never done. I would have never put $100,000 into these couple of freaking NFTs, but he did, and he made $1 million off of it.
Hopefully he sold out quickly
He
before
didn't
the
sell out quick enough. I begged him to sell, begged him and begged him. No, he's still a huge big win, but huge big loss from that
Mhm.
1.3 mil I think it was at its
What it
high.
could have been, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I hear a common story
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
across
in
the NFT
crypto
world.
and NFTs and even these penny stocks that I talk about a lot, you got to get in and get out fast. Take your profits and run.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think someone gave me some really good advice once about trading stocks or trading anything essentially. They were like, anybody can buy, the experts know when to sell.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a lesson we've both learned the hard way several times over.
Nice. Well, I was going to ask, like, what makes your channel different, and why do you think people watch you guys over everybody else in the finance space? Because I know there are a lot of finance YouTube channels,
Yeah, so
but it
we're
sounds like,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah, sure, answer it again. But I was going to say, it sounds like you guys try and make it a bit more entertaining. But
Yeah.
let me know what you think and what your well, not your customers, but your fans and followers, like, why do they love your channel versus the other finance channels?
Long story short, you really nailed it. We just try to be very relatable because we're two ordinary guys. I didn't come from money. I was never taught about any of this. Andrew didn't come from money, was never taught about any of this. So we're literally two regular, ordinary people that were able to make a killing in the stock market. So we try to make sure we're relatable and we try to make it entertaining because we're teaching a very boring and highly complicated subject. There's a million things you need to know to be able to trade stocks effectively and know when to sell and know when to buy, and learning this stuff is very it's just very difficult even if you're getting it from an entertainment source. So that's really it, relatable and entertainment.
Got it. And I was actually going to say a really good learning for the listeners out there is if you are thinking about having a co-founder or a partner, like I've got a co-founder in some of my companies as well, and I think it's a massive advantage to have someone else there to bounce ideas off, to push you, to keep each other accountable, that sort of stuff. So anybody thinking about it, I 100% think it is a good idea. But one thing that I do suggest, and it sounds like what you guys did as well, is work with that person a little bit beforehand. Like get to know them at their best, know them at their worst, and then go into that relationship because it is kind of like a marriage almost.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He actually just used that word to me. I was talking to him right before this, and we actually just used that word though. It is a marriage. You're married to that person. You're almost more married to them than you are your spouse. I'm actually getting married in February, but I'm probably closer with Andrew than I am her because I work with Andrew 8 hours a day. I'm on the phone with him almost 24/7. Even when I'm on like date night time, I'm still texting Andrew and talking to him. I almost spend more time with him. And even though I'm not in a physical relationship with him, it still absolutely affects all of my physical relationship because all of my money is coming through my interactions with Andrew. It's not coming from my interactions with my spouse. So it's absolutely a marriage. And I would just say one thing to add to what you're saying is I almost never recommend going into business with a friend or family member. I think for most people in most scenarios, it's not going to work out and it's going to ruin the friendship or family, whatever. But in our regard, it did work. And I would just venture to say, like, there was one, I was almost dead set going to go into business with one of my old high school friends recently, but he kind of moved here and he showed me all of the reasons why I shouldn't go into business with him. He didn't mean to, but I had these high expectations from the kid I knew all these years ago. We used to be best friends. Now we're kind of reconnecting. And I kind of saw the lack of work ethic in comparison to my own, at least. I came over here and thought that he would have massive value to add to a business that we were thinking about building together. But in 2 or 3 months of just watching him before we signed anything together, kind of learned that he is not the guy I want to go into business with because he's not going to put forth anywhere near the amount of effort I was. And if I'm going to give him half of my equity for my effort, I want something in return for that. I don't want you to come here, give me 20 grand, and then get half of my equity. I don't need your money. I wanted your work ethic and I wanted your expertise. But if I'm not going to get that, then it's not really worth it. So I would just say be skeptical, be cautious, like you just said. Make sure you're working with them before you sign anything. You have to know that they're going to commit like you are.
Hmm. Yeah, totally agree. And then circling back to that, I think you've gotten pretty creative with the different ways that you monetize. walk me through the different ways that you're able to generate income so that you can obviously turn this into your full-time gig. So I'm sure you didn't start off, as you said, you started off in restaurants, then you started doing the stock stuff, and which now sounds like it's led into other ventures or other areas of income. What's all the different ways that you make an income?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I created all these YouTube videos of teaching people the stock niche with hopes that I'd eventually get rich, sure. But I did everything for free for like the first 4 months on YouTube. I never got paid for like 4 months straight. And we were posting 3 videos a day, every single day while working full time. It was a huge time commitment up front. But eventually, we got paid through YouTube. YouTube, once you get a big enough audience, will start paying you about a penny per view, is kind of what it equates for us. um, and that's not much, especially if you're only getting 10,000 or less views per video. Even to this day, I'm only making about $1,000 a month off of YouTube ad revenue. At one point, I did have that up to about $30,000. So it's just highly fluctuating. It's all based on views. If all of your videos are getting 50,000 plus views a video, you can make a killing. But if they're not, you're not going to make hardly anything. But what we found is just taking it step by step. I didn't have my whole grand plan mapped out the day we started. We just started and then focused on getting better every day and doing what we can. And as our audience grew, so did all these revenue sources. So there's all kinds of different sponsorships that you can get across your social media channels. You can get free products. I've gotten a ton of free products. I actually have a free prototype electric motorcycle out there right now. I'm actually receiving a free electric vehicle in Q1 of next year. I've gotten a really cool toothbrush. I know it's very minor, but it's like the coolest toothbrush in the world. You just gotten all kinds of free little shit that adds up. And not only that, but you get paid for shout outs. If somebody just wants you to do a 1 minute ad in your 10-minute video, or if they want you to do a whole 10-minute video, they'll pay a lot more for that. There's all kinds of different metrics that these advertisers will pay you for, whether it's a quick shout out or whether it's just simply drinking their drink on camera and not even mentioning it. There's all kinds of ways to get paid. You can reach out to a lot of these people and ask them for your own sponsorship. But what we found is most of them tell you no. If you're reaching out to them, you're probably not big enough. If they want you, in a lot of cases, they find you. On any given week between Andrew and I, we probably get 20 sponsorship offers and we accept maybe one or two of them. Most of the sponsorship offers, once you get really big, everyone wants you to advertise for them, but not everybody's willing to pay enough. And you eventually get too many sponsors and you can't do an ad in every video. You can't do an ad in every little TikTok. So you have to be more selective. And the first people you're going to be selective with are the ones that are only offering you $100 when you have other people offering you 5,000.
Yeah, yeah. No, 100% quality over quantity always. Okay, so you've got the YouTube stuff, you've got the sponsorship stuff. I know you've got Patreon going. What are some other ways that you've kind of been able to turn this audience or turn this kind of following into revenue?
So sponsorships, advertisers, those are definitely one of our bigger sources of income. And then, like you said, my Patreon, which is a private paid for access to Andrew and I and our team of coaches we have in there. Now, note my financial disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor. My videos entertainment purposes only. I don't tell you when to buy, I don't tell you when to sell. I just show you when I'm buying, when I'm selling, and the things I'm looking for to identify how I'm identifying these buy and sells and whatnot. So anyways, I already make free YouTube videos. I already make free TikToks and Instagrams and all of the social medias. That's the free stuff you can get. But if you want more in-depth information or if you want one-on-one access to me or Andrew or any of our coaches, you have to pay for it. My time's not free. I'm already giving you hours and hours of content for free on YouTube and TikTok. So you do have an option that you can pay us a monthly fee or an annual fee, and you can come inside the Discord. And I spend nearly 24/7 in there answering questions, talking to people, explaining what I'm looking at in much finer detail. We go live in there. We do things like we're doing right here. We even do voice chats in there. It's a very personalized one-on-one approach that you can't deliver through YouTube and TikTok. I can explain something for 3 minutes on TikTok, but you might not grasp it. I may have left out a couple details that are vital to you understanding. So to get those details, you can pay through Access, and that can be an extraordinary large amount of money, especially for creators in the finance niche. I can name at least a dozen people in the finance niche that are making six figures a month just selling access to themselves. If they always say, if you are good at something, never do it for free. I'm not going to just get in here and talk to 4,000 people 24/7 for free.
Mm. No, that's a great point. And I think I was looking at your Patreon and I noticed you only accept a certain amount of people too. Is there a particular strategy for one, creating demand for your Patreon? Two, is there a reason why you limit it? And then three, it's kind of like, how have you built that Patreon?
Yeah, so that's actually it's kind of a multi-tiered question, but I love the question. So we used to just sell monthly memberships. I started selling them for just $5 a month. Eventually, we increased the value a lot more structure. You got a lot more of my time, and we started bringing in more and more coaches and other experts, so to speak. So we upped the price to 25 a month, then to 50 a month. Eventually, we realized though a lot of people that are willing to spend 5, 10, 25, $50 a month, they're not emotionally invested enough into your product to get the results they want. And the only reason I do any of this is to educate people. This isn't a cash grab. I don't want people to just give me money so I get rich. I mean, yeah, sure, I do want that. Who doesn't want that? But the only reason I do any of this is to educate people. And what we're finding is like 70% of the people that sign up for a monthly membership get no value, not because I'm not in there, not because I'm not giving them the value, but because they're not emotionally invested enough to devote the time necessary to learning these intricate skills and to learn how to identify these trends and patterns and things that we're looking for. So for $50 a month, they'll just pay it once and they'll be like, oh, I didn't instantly get rich. And then they cancel. That's a lose lose. I didn't get reoccurring revenue from them because they canceled right away and it didn't amount to much. And they lost because they lost 50 bucks and they didn't get the reward they were seeking for it. So that caused us to look at it differently. How can I get people to emotionally invest into the product a little more? And what we learned from actually Alex Hermosi, another huge influencer, he's great in sales, is create scarcity for your product. So now we're just always sold out. And now what we do is when we do open up slots, I only open 10 or 15 at a time. And it's for a couple reasons. A, on the marketing side, it absolutely helps because your product's scarce, people rush in to buy it. So on the back end, it made me a lot more money. That's not why I did it. Why I did it now is now you can't buy a $50 membership. You have to pay for a whole year up front, and it's at $50 a month. So you're going to pay me about $500 to get into my Discord. By the time you invested $500, that's a lot of money. You're going to be emotionally invested. You're going to spend time in there learning from me. You're going to read what I'm putting in there for you. You're going to join me in the voice chats because you know you invested $500 and you're not going to get that money back. So you have to invest some of that time. Now, what we're finding, I'm no longer at like a 70% turnover rate of people not getting the value and leaving. We're at like a 13%. Almost everybody stays now because they're emotionally invested enough to actually learn. And when they're actually learning, they are getting the results that they joined to get to begin with. Plus, since they signed up for a 1 year membership now, they're in there for a year. A lot of people sign up for a month and they didn't get the results they wanted in a month, so they left. Well, nobody gets fit in a month either. It takes years of working out before you get a six pack kind of thing. So it's kind of the same thing. And the last point I wanted to make was kind of just had a brain fart. Oh, the other reason we only let 10 or 15 people in at a time now is we realize most people don't understand what a Discord is or how to use it. And if I have 1,000 people that join at a moment's notice, which I've had before, I can't onboard those people and teach them how to use Discord quick enough. There's too many people that flooded the gate, and now hundreds of those people are going to be no student left behind, if you will. I didn't get to them. So now if I hold 10 or 15 people's hand at a time, I can teach them what to look for, what channels to look at, where I'm going to be posting all of my stuff, and it's creating a much better success rate for them and us on the back end.
Yeah. So many learnings in there, which we'll go over in a second. But one thing, I just don't know why Discord doesn't make their product easy to use.
Oh my god, it's an eyesore.
Anyway, so everybody listening, like, so much value in understanding that exclusivity. And I agree with you. Like, counteracting that get rich quick is so important now because everybody's just looking for that, like, that growth hack or that one thing that's going to make them rich overnight. And I think getting people to commit to like a year is a great way to counteract that because, as you said, anything good takes time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing good happens overnight. It definitely takes time, effort, and work. So that's really interesting because I think you're probably one of the first people we've interviewed that have gone about their Patreon with that strategy. So congrats, man. That's really good.
Thank you, thank you. That's just something else I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen other creators doing that either, even in the finance niche. Everybody just charges monthly. And you have some
Mm,
that are charging 5, 25, 50, 500, but and you do have the option to pay annually, but we had the option too. And only like 1%
yeah.
of people ever paid annually. Everybody just pays
Yeah.
month to month. They don't get the instant gratification and then they leave.
Yeah.
And it's a lose
They don't
lose.
commit.
I only made 50
Mm,
or $100 per person and they lost 50 to $100, didn't get the results they wanted. It's a lose lose. Now I'm
mm,
making $500 per sale, which is a win for me. And they, in many of these cases, are making thousands and thousands of dollars because now
mm.
they're emotionally invested enough to learn what I'm trying to teach them. So now it's a
Yep.
win-win instead of a lose-lose.
I think that's a great learning as well, is like think about if you're a content creator or if you have customers or fans, think about how you can create these win-win scenarios. I think that's a really good takeaway. Um, okay, going back to more of the beginning, like how do you actually make your first $1,000 online? So for those of people who are listening, they haven't really started too much. They're maybe just getting their feet wet. How did you actually make your first kind of $1,000? Because I think the first $1,000 is probably the hardest $1,000 to make.
Well, for me, it came with stocks. I taught myself how to trade stocks because I started to hate my job at Olive Garden. I started just to hate my life, hate myself personally. I hated that I was allowing myself to live this life that I knew wasn't for me. And once you make 70 to 90,000 a year, it's comfortable enough that most people just do it for the rest of their life. It becomes easy, and Olive Garden was never going to fire me. I could have had my whole career there. I was too good for them. I would have never been fired. So I had job security, but I hated myself. So I taught myself how to trade stocks. Like I said, I took 400, turned it into 20 grand in my first month of trading. It hasn't stopped since then. I've just been killing it. As far as making money online outside of stocks, it was through YouTube. I created probably at least 100 YouTube videos before I ever got a penny. And then I think our first month on YouTube, we made a few $100s. Our very next month, we made a couple $1,000s. So once we got monetized, it went from just a few hundred to a couple thousand the very next month. And then it went to a couple more thousand, couple more thousand. We got to the point we were making 30,000 a month on YouTube ad revenue. And now since then, it has been spiraling down. Our views have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, despite our getting better every day and whatnot. But that's just something you kind of can't control. Now I'm making less than $1,000 a month on it again. But now I'm blowing up on TikTok, which is bringing in sales to all of my things that I'm doing. But that's kind of how I got started. Is I just started. Oh, that's another thing. I taught myself how to edit my own videos. Again, I didn't have any social media, and I really didn't use a computer at all for like a 5-year time span. So when I decided to do all of this, I had to create all of my social media accounts again because I didn't have them, and then I had to teach myself how to edit, which was a crap ton of YouTube videos and talking to a couple editors that I knew in real life. They're not big time or nothing like that, but and just asking them, hey, how do you do this? What program do you use? Blah blah blah. Just creating a bunch of free content until it eventually started to pay off.
Nice. No, that's really awesome. I think, one of the big things there is like you created 100 videos. I think people kind of create 10 videos. They're like, oh, I'm only getting a few hundred views and then give up.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody we talk to, it usually takes, 100 plus, and then you really get lucky on one or two videos to then kickstart the rest. Um, what was your big first kind of video that kind of took off? Was it the AMC stuff?
AMC was definitely my biggest stock that I talked about that brought in a lot of viewers, but I had for me, it's kind of because I talk a lot about penny stocks on my YouTube channel, and a lot of that is talking about the trending penny stock, and that changes all of the time. At summer of last year, it was AMC. They were the hottest stock, and it was a great time for me to pivot in, talk about them, made a phenomenal amount of money. I told my viewers to get in around $12 a share. It went all the way to 70 a share. And at that time, when you can make people a 7x on their money, it word of mouth spreads, everybody just floods in and gets to you. But even before that, it was just really every time I called a big play, I called BNGO at like $1. I think it went to like $6 at one point. I probably saw like 10,000 subscribers come to my channel from that. They're like, oh, wow, I just missed a 6x by not listening to this guy. It's just kind of like that. So for me, my topics change a lot based on what's trending. And that's not to capture more people. It's just because I'm trying to teach people how to make money. And how you make money in the stock market is you follow the volume a lot of times. Whatever's trending, that's going to be what's going up in price right now because it's popular. And then it's going to sell off. People are going to exit it and they're going to go into the next one. So it forces me to change my topic quite a bit.
Yeah. I suppose there's pros and cons to that. Like, pro is that there's always something very enticing for new content creation, but the con is that one of the beautiful things about YouTube is the evergreenness of some of the content. But, once that stock
Yeah.
goes out of popularity, that evergreenness kind of drops off. Have you put any thought into the strategy of the video content you're making and like bucketing it into kind of like, stocks, the hot stocks, which are like short trends, and then long-term content that you can hopefully get views on month over month for a really long period of time?
We have, and I've actually tested out a couple of those theories. Technically, I have like 6 YouTube channels, but I only really run one of them because all these other ones we really had as test pilots for exactly what you just said. What I found is, at least in my own experience, what I would recommend to everybody is whatever your YouTube channel is, it has to be super niche focused. YouTube will not show me that anything that is not a penny stock. I have tried to create Airbnb content. I've now built a 7-figure Airbnb business, and I'm trying to teach other people how to do that. YouTube does not recognize my Airbnb content. I'll get 100 views. I regularly get 10,000 views on penny stocks, but I'll only get 100 on Airbnb. They don't recognize me as an Airbnb authority, and my audience isn't interested in Airbnb. All of my 85,000 subscribers on YouTube came to me for penny stocks. They don't want to see Airbnb content necessarily. So when YouTube does show it to them, they swipe. They don't watch it. So we created other YouTube channels to talk about more evergreen content because me talking about penny stocks is not evergreen. It's trending for a week and then nobody ever will watch that video again. Um, but for us, that would require many more channels to be able to do that. We did do one where we created a crypto channel, and then we only talked about crypto on that channel because I can't really talk about crypto on my penny stock channel for the same reason. People aren't following me for that. They don't want to see that, and YouTube doesn't recognize me as an authority on that subject. So we created another channel, but it's just kind of so slow growing. It's like you said, nobody wants to make 100 videos. Now that we've seen the kind of success we have on the big one, we don't want to devote this time to getting 100 views again. That was like so long ago for us.
Yeah. Yeah, the mystical YouTube algorithm is a tough one to figure out, and it's very unpredictable.
Yeah, what I found though is just trying to run all of these other channels, it was such a big time commitment. It's hard enough creating one YouTube video every day. Plus, I'm doing 2 TikToks a day right now, plus Instagram, plus Facebook, plus Twitter, plus I'm still in my Discord and Patreon every day. Plus, I'm still running 3 other businesses that have nothing to do with any of this. It's just, it was really hard for us to maintain all of these separate channels. But none of them really ever blew up because we didn't put enough effort in. Like you said, most people want to do 10 videos and then they don't see success and they lose out. And for like us, our very first video did like 4,000 views. But then my next 100 videos never hit 1,000. I was getting 100 views, 40 views, 300 views. And then 100 views later, all of a sudden, or 100 videos later, all of a sudden, I started having more and more videos that did hit over 1,000 views, and then a few thousand views, and then 10,000 views. But it took 4 months of doing it for free and just making a bunch of content that nobody was watching.
Mm. Yeah, and I know, when you do have those videos that do hit high amounts of views, or you do have a topic that you've found that is kind of working really, really well, how do you best kind of leverage that opportunity of all the views? Are you like sending people to certain products or services? What's the best way for a content creator to like benefit off a video that's maybe going viral?
Well, it's sales. You have to sell something. YouTube, by nature, unless you become extremely viral on any of these platforms, which is extremely hard and rare to do, without becoming extremely viral, it's never going to pay the bills. Like I said, I'm still big, 85,000 subscribers, 300,000 on TikTok, and I'm only making $1,000 a month. And I have to split that in half with my partner. So that's not what's paying our bills or keeping my lights on or paying for this green screen behind me. It is selling products. I give people free information and you don't have to buy anything. I will teach you how to trade stocks on my YouTube channel. You don't have to pay me and you will learn a lot. So I'm already providing you massive value for free. But if you want more value, I have a bunch of products you can buy. You can buy access to me, so you can pay for my time by joining my Discord. You can pay for my daily watch list by text message. Let's say you don't have the time to be in the Discord. You don't want to do all that reading. You don't care about the personal access. You just want to know what I'm looking at every day. All right, I'll sell you a text message daily watch list. 9 a.m. every day, I will text you what I'm looking at. You're not going to get a detailed breakdown of it all, but you can pay me for that. You can also pay me for a couple courses I've created now. Like I said, I built a 7-figure Airbnb business, and we did that without using any money or buying any property. And right now we're making anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a month in passive income off of all these Airbnbs that we don't even own. Well, I teach you about that for free on YouTube. I teach you for free on TikTok. But if you want more detailed information, you can either join my Discord or you can take my Airbnb masterclass. But in either way, in almost all of my videos, I have something to sell you. So I'm going to give you in a 10-minute YouTube video, 9 minutes and 30 seconds of it is just going to be providing you value and knowledge and hopefully teaching you something you didn't know. And for 30 seconds, I'm going to shout out the products I'm selling. Hey, you can go buy your Alpha Status merchandise. I'm wearing a shirt, I'm wearing a hat. You can go buy your own, or you can join my Discord, or you can buy my masterclass. I'll give you plenty of ways to pay me. And that's really where all of your money comes in then, is monetizing your audience like that, is sell them something. If you don't have anything to sell, you're not going to make any money.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting because a lot of these content creators that we talk with, they miss the product creation side of it. They're like maybe really good at creating content, they're really good at getting views, engagement, all that sort of stuff, but they're just missing that final piece of like creating a product to sell. Um, so yeah, it's super interesting because it seems like you're really good at creating products.
Yeah, well,
Not
I kind
only
of came into
building
this niche with a
engagement.
lot of real world practical experience, from the Army, Infantry, Honor Guard to running multiple $1 million corporations on the management side. I've already had a lot of sales experience, business experience, management experience, executive experience that I was able to apply. I know not everybody starts with the knowledge base I started with, so it's not as easy as I may make it sound over here, but it's all completely doable, and you can learn all this stuff for free online. And I didn't have all this mapped out day one. It literally just started for me making free YouTube videos for 4 months. And then I started making a little bit of money on YouTube for a few months. And then we created the Discord. And then that was only one product. And I was only selling it for $5 in the beginning. And then as I continued to develop the product, I raised the price. And as I started to get successful with that and I got good at that, then you can create another product. So then I spent a little bit of time making some merchandise. Like I said, you just one product at a time and one thing at a time, and you kind of perfect one thing at once.
Yeah, and I think baby steps at the start,
Yeah, baby
just try
steps.
and do the bare minimum to start with to get the ball rolling, and then it gets bigger and bigger as you go. That's awesome. Um, okay, final few questions here that I just had for you before we wrap up. But your videos have so many comments on there. Is there anything that you've learned on how to stimulate engagement, how to get people commenting and engaging? Because I do think that is a very big factor when YouTube is trying to decide which content to push through their algorithm and which one to show on like homepages or show up in searches, that sort of stuff. I think engagement is one of them. Is there anything you do specifically to help get more engagement and comments on your videos? This
Yeah,
could be
absolutely.
YouTube or TikTok.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% at this. I still have some videos that get no engagement, but I think you hit the nail on the head. There are really two main metrics that YouTube and all of these algorithms look for is watch time. They want to see that you stayed on the platform longer by looking at this person's content, and did you engage? And there's no greater engagement than a comment. Clicking the like button helps a little bit, helps the creator, helps the algorithm decide what you want to see more of, but it only took you a half a second to click that like button. But to write out a comment, especially a heated one or an angry one or a shit talking one, that probably took you minutes. Maybe you had to hit the backspace a bunch of times because you wanted to change what you were saying. But in any case, you spent a lot more time on the platform by typing that comment. So between commenting and watch time, those have to be the two most important metrics. And the only way you're going to get comments is by creating an emotion or eliciting an emotional response from your viewer. I do this a number of ways depending on what I'm talking about. Because like on TikTok, I'm all over the place. I talk about insurance, I talk about stocks, I talk about Airbnbs, I talk about life advice, I talk about morals and up fiber and just all kinds of it, all over the place. So
TikTok
it
loves it
kind of
all.
varies a lot. But in any case, you try to stir their emotion either by teaching them something new or entertaining them or making them think in a new way or saying something that they completely disagree with. There's an old adage that says something like, if you ever want to ask anybody online a question that you're looking for an answer to, don't ask them the question. Don't say what's two plus
Mm.
two. Nobody's going to answer your question. Instead, if you want the answer to that, tell them two plus two is six and watch everybody correct you. You're going to get the answer right away. Everyone's going to be like, four, four, four. What are you retarded? It's four, four, four. Whereas otherwise, if you just asked the question, no one was going to answer that. It wasn't engaging, but they
Yeah,
can't wait to tell you that you were wrong and then give you the right answer. So it's just about eliciting
yeah.
emotion. Like I have one video that I was very careful with the way I worded it. And I don't think it's offensive to anybody, but that's because I put a lot of care into how I delivered it. But the title alone and the thumbnail alone is very emotionally responsive. How to stop police officers from shooting black people. Bam, right there. You're already immediately highly engaged without hearing any of the context behind that video. The first time I released that video had 250,000 views almost overnight, and it actually has I have videos that have millions of views now, and this one still has more comments at 250,000 views than my videos at millions, and it's because of the emotional response I elicited with that video topic. I can't do that in all of them. Like I said, I have some that get 0 comments. So it's just kind of a numbers game. And then, like you said earlier, you have to create more than 10 videos. Like right now on TikTok, it's about every 10th video that goes at least semi-viral for me. I'll get one that gets 100,000 views or more, and then my next 9 are less than 5,000 each, and then one that hits a million, and then 9 duds. So it's a lot of just repetition and just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Consistency and testing. But the other thing that's super interesting there is the engagement doesn't have to be positive. Like, I think the
Yeah,
negative engagement and people fighting in the comments actually just like makes the engagement go through the roof. And that's what actually gets the content out there. Like, these platforms want to see discussions happening in there. And the
exactly.
best discussion is people arguing.
Yep, exactly. And then just to bounce off of what you said, one of the biggest things I like to teach anybody is again, I'm still nervous as heck every time I turn on this camera. I still don't enjoy creating content in the sense of me putting myself out there and then worrying about every little word that I say and will people like me? Will they hate me? Will they make fun of me? What I tell myself, and it's served me very well through my life, and it's serving very well in social media, is you don't need everyone to like you. Even if 99% of the world's population hates you, 99% of the world talks shit about you regularly, if even 1% is on your side, that's still 77 million people. I don't need everyone to like me, and I'm not looking for everyone to like me. If you don't like my content, just keep scrolling. Look for somebody else. But in that 1%, there's still 77 million people that I can reach and that do like me and that will find value in what I'm doing. So you kind of just have to push the hate aside and, like you said, use it to your advantage. I don't care if you talk crap about me in my comment section. I like people to keep it respectful, sure. And sometimes people say things that are so out of line, you just click delete comment or hide user from channel. But for the most part, I leave it. I welcome any criticism, anything you want to say. Your beard is ugly. You look homeless. Say it. Thank you. You helped me in the algorithm.
I love it. No, that's awesome. And Mike, just to wrap this up, really just want to say thank you for sharing everything. Done a great job at growing all of these. Super impressive story. If people want to find out more about you, about what you're doing, different products or different businesses you're involved in, where should they go follow up with you?
So I have a link tree posted on all my social medias, my Instagram, Mike Poarch. Actually, I'm trying to get it across so that it's the same name on everything, but my name is taken across everything. On Instagram, I'm Mike at Alpha Status. I have a link tree in my bio. On TikTok, I'm Mike Poarch, Mike.Poarch. I have a link tree in my bio. My link tree will take you to everything that you can do, all of my social medias and whatnot. And I have literally everything. I have even the ones people have never heard of, StockTwits, iHub. I have it all.
Nice. Well, we'll be linking to all that stuff as well in the show notes. So everybody listening, make sure you go check out those. Leave us a comment, good or bad in this case.
Yep,
Let us
absolutely.
know
I
what you
welcome it.
let us know how we did on this interview. If you learned something, if you didn't, if you thought we just wasted 40 minutes of your time, let us know that too. But really appreciate you guys tuning in, listening. Mike, thank you so much. Loved having you on the show, and we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. Great content. I've checked out a lot of your stuff as well. I absolutely love it. And I hope everybody got some massive value out of this.
Nice. See you guys. Hey guys, we put a bunch of effort into making great content for this YouTube channel. So please hit subscribe, leave us a comment, hit like, and tell a few friends about it.